Hi, and welcome to another episode where I'm going to be doing some 2-minute quick sketch figure drawing. Hi, my name is Luis Escobar. I'm a storyboard artist on the Simpsons television show. I've been working on the show for over 25 years now, and I'm here to empower you. So just like the last time, I'm going to do some quick 2-minute quick sketches. And so just to go through the process, the mindset, the ideas, the process. Well, I already said the process, but just doing lay-in, construction, or what you can do within 2 minutes, just to iterate as much as possible so that you can just get better at drawing. So every single time I do these sort of things, sometimes I experiment with what I'm going to do and how I'm going to approach it. I'm going to try to stay as consistent as possible within these for at least a little while, and then maybe I'll experiment a little bit more as I go. But so let me just get, so it's going to be three figure drawings this time, again, like last time. And the reason why is usually what you, again, just to reiterate, what you want to do is about 10 2 minutes, and then take a break for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and then you go and then you do the 5 minutes, and you do like 5 minutes. I will do the 5 minutes in the next video, and I will only do two. But in this video, I'm going to be doing the 3 minutes. So let's get started. So just like I did last time, I'm going to just have my timer over here off screen, and I am going to start with these figure drawings. I'm going to zoom in. What I want is to have these figure drawings all stay within the picture. You want them to be generally small, partly because it is a long drawing. I mean a short drawing, and the bigger it is to draw, the more difficult it's going to be for you to finish. If you have a huge drawing, it's more mileage, more line work. It just takes longer, so it's kind of better to start small, so you could just kind of crank it out fast. All right, so 2-minute drawings. Let's get started. Again, I'm going to start here with the head. Just for a place to start. Finding the longest line of the pose, and this is kind of going this way, and then we're going down all the way to the floor. This, I want to find there's a rhythm here that I want to connect the back of the body to the leg, and now that I've got the gist, I do want to kind of work out the thickness of the leg there. There is a small gap between the head and the arm, and I'm paying attention to that. I just want to make sure that I get everything placed where it ought to be. And I'm trying to exaggerate what I see here, and I tend to just go straight in with the values and simplify. I mean, it's really complex shadow shapes here, but I just want to simplify this for now. I don't have the time to do anything more than a simple version of the shadow shape. And now I'm going to try to put some anatomy in here, keeping this straight and keeping it simple too. Here's the pecs. Trying to get the construction and the solidity here of this. Oh, and this is it's very low, but here's the alarm. The alarm went off. That's 2 minutes. That's as far as I got. So it was, this time it's just kind of a lay-in, a little bit of value in there, but that's it. I mean, That's all I had time for. And then we got to keep moving. All right, so next pose, turn on my timer, and here we go. So this pose is a little bit more compact, like there's a lot of overlapping shapes. So what I'm seeing is a bit of more of a graphic here. I just said that I was going to try to be as consistent as possible with these, but this is kind of a unique situation where the pose is kind of telling me to create more of an envelope shape with because it's all kind of closed in on itself. And then in here I start kind of breaking into this shape and carving out the parts. This is a very different approach to a figure drawing. But notice that it's all kind of still here. And then instead of going to the values, I will just try to add a little bit more line work here. There's the muscles here. Just trying to add the general shapes here. The stomach has an overlapping shape here. Might as well draw it. And notice that I just kind of drew a circle here as for this negative space gap, and now I'm refining it as I go. This is all solid here, and that's as far as I got. It's 2 minutes. Okay, so kind of picking and choosing extra little different places, different things. But notice that there was a graphic shape here that I kind of went with, that I saw when I was working on this. Because this was such an enclosed body shape, body part, group of body parts, it actually made more sense for me to approach it in a much more graphic way. So that's what I did. If I was to finish it, I would try to make sure to keep these legs three-dimensional, and I'm thinking about all the three-dimensional stuff as I go and do these things. And maybe some of these decisions may not have been the most solid decisions, but like I said, this is a 2-minute drawing. You learn as much as you can within the 2 minutes. You examine your thought process. You examine whether or not maybe you should approach something a different way. Maybe you could put like here, like the hand, this area here, like this hand is too high up, stuff like that. You just make little adjustments in your head. But in essence, you just kind of go, okay, what did I do that I liked? What I didn't do what I liked, and then you move on. So next drawing, this is the last one that we're doing for this this video, and then I will again do another video with 3 more drawings coming up next time. And I'll just keep doing these, and it's part of the reason is just to give you examples how to approach, and every single drawing has its own problems, so that's why I'm doing it this way, so that you could see some problems that I come up with, and different types of solutions you come up with, and different ways of approaching it. For example, this one here I had values in, and this one I didn't. Okay. So let's do this last pose. So I'm going to give myself 2 minutes. And here I go. So the head is tilted this way. That's my immediate impression. And her body is turned this way. And and kind of crunched up. Kind of crunched, and it makes kind of this shape over here. Ah, dang it, this is too small. I mean, too big. Hopefully that's not gonna get in the way. Might as well take advantage of how digital. I wouldn't have been able to take advantage of that in if I was doing this traditional. But since I am doing this digital, might as well. But it is time that I took from actually drawing. And so here we go. And once you get this, just this, and I got to make sure that this is balanced, because the feet and the legs need to line up, and I think I blew it. They need to be underneath, or else you can't stay balanced. So if you mess up, make the adjustment. Part of it is that I over-exaggerated, and I'd rather over-exaggerate than under-exaggerate. And that was it. That's as far as I got this time around. This was a little bit trickier. I messed up some. And if you just get the lay-in down, if you just kind of get the essence of the gesture of the just the general placement of where everything really ought to be, the rest is just kind of finishing the drawing up a little bit more. Not everything that you do when and so like it's great that I didn't get a lot done. So because that way I could show you that you can't always get too far into these things. Sometimes you just don't get too far. Sometimes the best you could do is just to try to capture the lay-in, try to capture the essence of the pose without having finished anything. I think that this still needs a little bit of adjustments. But sometimes that's as far as you can go. If you could just get that far, that's good. Eventually you'll get faster and faster, but even when you get fast, sometimes you're going to hit one of those poses where it just doesn't, you mess up like I did. And you just go with it. You just go, okay, well, you know what? I'm just going to have to adjust it. You don't have... The good thing is that you caught it when you were doing it. You want to be able to catch it when you're doing it and then rework it even within the time frame. And that's a learning moment. That's where you learn something, and then you move on. It's time for the next pose, you know. And so you just this is why it's important. This is why it's useful to do as many short poses as possible, because each pose gives you something, gives you a challenge, but you iterate more, you adjust more. There's more to learn, more to find out where your weaknesses are, where you mess up, where you could fix things, and it's a good process. I've been doing this for years, and here is an example of me not being able to go much further than that. It just happens sometimes. If I had done 10, there might be more of a consistent execution, right? Like you do 10, and then you start warming up, and you start warming up, and you warm up even more, and then you start really getting into the rhythm. If you're doing 10 of these, by the time you got to the 10th one, you're kind of warmed up. You've felt the rhythm. You're into it. These were only 3, but these are. You can see that there were different approaches, different conflicts, different challenges on each single drawing. This one didn't give me as much of a challenge as this one did, and then this one gave me the most amount of challenge. And I found that I wasn't even able to to do any kind of definitive lines. There's no volume. I mean, there's no values in it. I just couldn't get further into this pose, and it's you want to have very dynamic poses when you're doing these sort of things too, so that there is a bit more of a challenge, and it's not just people standing straight up and down. You don't always get that luxury, but it's very helpful if you're doing something more dynamic. So hopefully this has been helpful. The next video I'm going to do is going to be 2 5-minutes, so that you can see what can be done with more time. The last time I did 5 minutes, I was trying so hard to be pretty that I kind of lost some of the essence of some of the poses. So learning from that mistake, and incorporating what I learned from those mistakes than the last time with these 2-minute poses, trying to really over exaggerate the pose so that it captures even more of the essence of the pose. Even if I didn't get to do any kind of final line, is still more important. So join me next time for a 5-minute pose, some 2 5-minute poses, so that you can see what can be done with a little bit more time. And hopefully this has been helpful, and I will talk to you next time. All right, bye.